All right, Aries, thank you so much for your patience. I had gotten sick last week after I started the February reading, so I apologize for my tardiness, especially since y'all are last anyways. All right, with the Queen of Cups and the Eight of Wands, I do feel like your intuitive abilities, your ability to pick up on perceptions, especially when it comes to reading between the lines, picking up energy on situations, is heightened right now and expanding, and following those inclinations is what's going to get you through and push you forward more than anything else. You probably pick up intuition a little bit different than most other signs, being that you are a fire sign and you are the infant of the zodiac, if you will. I feel like the things that you also sense and feel in your own body and feel in your own energetic field also have a tendency to manifest very quickly. I feel like you also, for better or worse, manifest and bring things into your field, into your reality very quickly. So with that being said, be very mindful of what emotion you're putting out. Okay? Be very mindful of what you're cultivating. With Justice and Temperance, I feel like if you're concerned about any contract or legal situation, or your ability to have work-life balance, or if things are feeling unfair in your life right now, I feel like this is saying be patient. And both of these cards are talking about moderation and finding balance. So I don't feel like, saying anything off color or off the cuff is going to be helpful in this situation. I don't feel like getting all in your feelings and, making a decision would be in your best interest. If there's anything that you just wish would even out, I feel like the key is, I'm feeling the need to say, take the good with the bad. And I feel like nothing is outweighing anything right now. I feel like everything is neutral. So as much as you may feel like certain things are more compounding than others, I think that ultimately at the end of the day, everything you're experiencing in life right now washes itself out and brings you back to neutral. And you have to be kind of grateful for that, because the neutrality and the even ground is what is going to allow you to move forward and to make decisions and to trust this growing intuition that you're receiving. Last, we have the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, and the Empress. So we have a ton of movement energy, right? And a lot of figures, a lot of different energies you're being asked to tap into or involve yourself with right now. Okay? But patience is the key. Duality is the key. Embracing duality is also the key. I feel like you're going to be wanting to move forward very quickly or make progress very quickly, whether this be at work or, again, with something that you've been feeling like was locked up emotionally or keeping you in a stuck place. With the Empress here, it may be that you're going to rush into, mom mode. If you have a tendency to, rush into mom mode, even when it doesn't have to do with your kids, or even if you're not a mom, it's just, you have a tendency to take care of everybody else before yourself, or you put the group's needs before your needs. I feel like Spirit is pushing you towards a transition in that energy, because putting all that stuff before you and putting people that don't, you don't owe your loyalty to before you is limiting you. And in order for you to get back to focusing on what matters, that needs to shift. All right, Aries, just a quick reminder, I am on hiatus from private readings at this time. However, I did release a poetry book, and if you're interested in that book, the link's in the description box below. It's a PDF instant download, so you can have it right away. So I got to get some messages out first. A little bit, okay. This is definitely in relationship to work or your life outside of family. This could be happening with family. However, I think if anyone is disappointing you or rocking the apple cart, it's friendship, and I feel like it's friends and work. Okay, coworkers, things like that. Some of you are worried that a cycle is repeating itself. Okay, and on some level, it does appear that to be the case. And there's going to be a tendency to want to beat yourself up and tell yourself that you thought you learned this lesson, so you don't know why it's repeating itself. But even if your external circumstances look like there's a cycle repeating itself, that means that this is your opportunity to respond differently and to dismantle the situation or exit the situation or handle the situation differently. So instead of panicking that you didn't learn your lesson the first time and now you're having to go through this all again, you know, look at what you can change about the scenario. Some of you are really getting back to basics. A lot of you are stripping back all the responsibilities in what's the word I want to use? Like, you've been given too many shits about other people. Like, that's like basically the way I want to say it. And you need to learn how to scale it back before you get to the point where you're completely fed up. Okay? And there's a part of you that also wants to be, for lack of a better term, we'll say juvenile about the extra pressure that you're feeling and like blow up and like let everybody have it. Because being the bigger person, being the more mature person is annoying, right? It's annoying to have to hold our tongue and know better and things like that. But it will pan out for you for the better. For additional guidance, we're using the Magdalene Oracle today. And we got Eternal Embrace. On the bottom of the deck is family. Okay? And I love the Eternal Embrace card. It talks about being supported in the non-physical. That no matter what is going on, there is a huge mountain of support that is available to you. So if you're particularly feeling challenged right now by your surroundings, you don't feel like people have your back, you don't feel like, you know, the work that you do gets recognized, that it's worth anything, you're really going to have to start to deepen that relationship you have with a higher power in order to feel that support. I also feel like family are going to be more supportive than they normally are, and maybe it's like they don't really understand what you're going through entirely, but I still feel like they're going to be there for you and they're going to get it. Your overall energy is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is about, you know, mastering, I feel, your response. Okay, to challenge, mastering your response to your triggers, mastering the response to your quote fatal flaws. Okay. My cat is so mad right now that he can't sit on the table because I'm recording. What you're being asked to release is the Empress with the Rune Protection and the Nine of Swords. So I feel like you, again, I said this in the beginning, you create a lot of anxiety for yourself by feeling like you need to be the one in charge or that you have to take everyone under your wing. Okay? And maybe you do this because your mother didn't do this for you and you felt like you had to like live a crash course type of life where like you had to do a lot of trial and error and you just wish that she would have like been there to like guide you more. So you tend to guide other people because you don't want them to go through a crash course or something. And again, this can pan out in the smallest ways where like you don't let people learn from their mistakes. You try to circumvent that. But it causes you more harm than good. Because it gets you all in a tizzy, and it's not really your concern. Others of you may be trying to protect your mother, or there's, again, a defense mechanism that you have that is from your mother, or you have like a core mother wound, if you will, that you've been moving through, and it's getting really triggered right now at work, maybe with an authority figure. Maybe if your mom like never really listened to you, so you feel the need to defend yourself against female women in power. Maybe you don't trust them. I feel like all that kind of stuff is getting triggered. But ultimately, it's important to nurture yourself and worry about yourself first. And I feel like most people would think that you didn't have to tell an Aries that. But Aries are fiercely loyal when they are loyal. So I feel like you need to really maybe readjust what you're being loyal to. Really take stock in that. The door that's now open that was once closed, we have the Ace of Wands with the Page of Pentacles, and on the Ace of Wands we have future. So I feel like you need to initiate yourself, or you're going to be initiated into a lighter future, especially if you've been asking for reduced responsibility at work, or if there's some new task that you want to learn, or maybe you're getting some type of training or going to get a certification or something so that you can expand your career later. With the Page of Pentacles here, it's also beneficial sometimes to get back to basics. Like, again, let's say you've been in management for a long time and you just want to go back to doing like the task of the people that you manage. You know what I mean? You want to get back to the basics of just doing the task, okay? Because with the Ace of Wands in the future, I feel like you're moving into a space where You want to be more like doer oriented, like and physically creating something, because fire and earth is a physical creation. Instead of being the like logistics person, being the listener person, being the supportive person. And I think that that role will pan out well for you. I also feel like you need to breathe more youthful energy into your day-to-day life. And you can do that by, again, like carrying a lighter load. And we're going to talk about that closer to the end. But the Page of Pentacles says, you know, just keep your eyes open for opportunity. Remember that anything that, you know, gets offered to you, even if it doesn't seem like, this could even be money, like that you're going to get an offer for an amount of money in the future, and it may not be a lot of money. So if you're expecting like some huge payout, you know, you may only get a third or a half of what you expected. Also, you may get seed money, okay, whatever that needs to be. But it would be something, it would be either from work or to continue to work on yourself. But just know that that's all you really need to be focused on right now, too, is your work, your performance, your ability to execute things, and just focus on overall your attunement, okay? Your current energy as it relates to all of this. In your head, we have the Devil with the Page of Wands, and on this pair, we have the rune Constraint. In your heart, the Five of Cups with the rune Friendship. And in your foundation, we have Death with the Two of Pentacles. So I don't think that you can or have been able to successfully separate work from like taking your work home. Like I think that work or obligations tend to overrun into your private life, and maybe that has taken you away from your friends. Maybe you haven't had a lot of time to spend with yourself or doing the things that you find a lot of pleasure about. Maybe you're afraid to leave your job, or since you have left your job in the past, you don't really have as much of a social life anymore. And that may be a fear as well. Like maybe you don't want to leave your job because you're like, well, I would have no friends if I did. And maybe you just in general have a hard time making friends, or you just wouldn't, you don't know what would happen. This can also be a fear of burning bridges, I feel. Because with the Devil and the Page of Wands in your head, I feel like with the Constraint rune here, I feel like your devil is on the leash. Like I feel like there is this tendency to kind of want to spit fire and say something a little off color, or say something that you know that you ultimately don't mean, you're going to have to take back or apologize for. And I feel like you got that energy on a leash. Like, you know what I mean? So it is using a lot of energy in your body to hold back from kind of like spouting out. And I also feel like some of you may be wanting to take just like you may have gotten like, what is it? A dog with a bone, like someone that won't give something up. Like I feel like you might have caught wind of something, whether it be energetically or like gossip or like news, or you're feeling something. And it's not that what you're sensing is wrong, but fear is tainting the message that you're receiving. So it's not that what you're receiving is totally incorrect, but I feel like you can't see the bonus side of it because of old, because again, it's too reminiscent of old situations that you've been in that didn't pan out well. So you can't see the good side. So I feel like don't err on the side of negativity with any news that you receive or any conclusions you begin to jump to. I feel like it's going to be really important that you stay on the straight and narrow, if you will, and like keep your thoughts positive. With Five of Cups in your head, or excuse me, your heart, in the Friendship rune, I do feel like you're mourning lack of support. Okay, and that's why internal embrace is here. I feel like there's this thing of like, no one appreciates what I do. You know, I don't have any time for fun. Life is, you know, work is so consuming. Like there's lack of balance because again, with the Death card and the Two of Pentacles, which every sign this month has gotten the Two of Pentacles, or the Two of Swords, or both. So there's a lot of decision making, a lot of balance energy active, okay, in the month of February. So I do feel like you need to stop bringing work home. I do feel like you need a firm boundary between your private life and your professional life, because the blend of them all, I think, has caused a little bit of a strife in the past. I think that especially with the Friendship rune here in the heart space, it's like, you know, if we mix business and pleasure, we can feel like double crossed. If like, you know, because certain things are just business, and this is coming from someone that takes that kind of shit really personally. But when you mix business and pleasure, it's inevitable that at some point you're going to take a business decision very personally. And again, it's only natural, but it's going to really hit. And I don't think that you want it to be that hard. So I feel like you need to also start to begin to establish like a stronger hold on your life, if you will, outside of the workplace, if you don't already have that. And if work is taking over your life, I feel like you need to make time for family and friends. If you feel like something is going to end, or it's got an inevitable end, like if you feel like something has an expiration date on it, you don't necessarily need to mourn it early. But if you feel like by the time you need to make a move or make a decision, it'll be more beneficial that you've already gotten your feelings out of the way about it, then go ahead and take that crack at it. Spirit's advice. Super interesting. Your advice is the Five of Pentacles with the rune standstill and the Five of Swords. So, first of all, the first message I got with this is like, if there's any gossip, chaos, disagreements, unsettled energy at work, okay, keep your ass out of it. Keep yourself out of it. Distance yourself from it. Five of Pentacles, distance yourself from it. Okay. Now, if you have been unemployed for a while, there may be a new job coming that isn't going to be quite all the money that you expected, but I don't see it coming till March. Okay, into March. Because with the Queen of Swords here in the outcome, I feel like you're very talented. Like you have a very like properly written resume and all that stuff. So you just need to hang tight. And I know money is money is money. We need it to live, and I understand that. But hang tight, okay? Because your head is in the game. You are very intelligent. You're very like well spoken and studied and all that kind of stuff. So just give it a little bit more time. Again, if you hear like any talks or something at work about like layoffs or changing departments or whatever, I just feel like you need to distance yourself from it and try not to get it all wrapped up in your head, because the Five of Swords, nobody wins in the Five of Swords. And sometimes the rumor mill, this is like half-truth energy. So I feel like you need to keep yourself away from half-truth energy, and also because it's going to make you feel less supported, okay? Because the Five of Pentacles with the rune standstill does say that, one, that you are enduring. And if you are in a situation or have been in a situation before, or you're in one now that resonates and reminds you of a different situation from the past where you really had a struggle and you didn't agree with the choices that were made that led up to the struggle, I feel like you're going to, again, have a chance to respond differently this time. But you can't bridge the gap. Like, there's nothing that you can do to bring people physically closer or get them on your side right now. It has nothing to do with your skill or your ability or whatever. I just feel like you need to take that time, that distance. Also, people may just be more argumentative at this time, or people just may be more like pushing your buttons. Just back away from those people and only go around the people that are going to like let you be. You know what I'm saying? Moving into March, we have the Queen of Swords with the Ten of Wands. And on the Queen of Swords, we have commitment. So again, the more you commit to staying above the fray, the less you'll feel burdened by everything going on around you. Yes, in general, it is a burden to, again, be the most self-aware person in the room, or to like do the right thing or whatever. But I feel like it's ultimately going to like keep your mind clear, okay? And, I feel like... Oh, that's not good. Sorry about that. I feel like you are just going to have to like power through, okay? Because this Ten of Wands is a lot of responsibility, and you may realize that you had made a commitment in the past that is more responsibility than you really want. You're going to have to make a decision to like step down, or to take on less of a work, or change your hours or things like that, because it also may be like physically taxing you. I feel like some people might be getting pins and needles, maybe like a circulation problem, or like sharp pains in their back from sitting for too many hours, or like tension headaches from staring at the computer screen, things like that. All right, things that really like start to like break your back if you will, okay? So lean on the people that are part of your core, core few, and keep your head down. This is the keep your head down and mind your business card, especially at work. Keep your head down and mind your business, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people swirling about that are only going to aggravate the things that you're already experiencing on your own, okay? If you want the love reading or the mid-month reading, in the description box below. Peace.